It's a happy day on a Friday. It's a happy day on a Friday. So much to say with KJ in the Ray. It's a happy day on a Friday. Oh, there you go. You got it going on now, folks. When you got some middle-aged old damn woman out of Tennessee singing to you on a Friday. How's everybody doing today, huh? Huh? Oh, y'all, I've had quite the week. I've had everything from bridge work in my mouth done. I've had household things to do, business things to do, all of these things, and yet here I am. Here I am on KJ in the Ray with all you lovey, wonderful people that bring so much happiness to my life. I wanted to say right now that without you, old KJ could never, ever, ever get a little justice through understanding. Well, I saw in the comments just a little while ago, Canyon Jam says it seems like a whole new start. Today is August the 1st, and I had to be reminded of that. I wasn't even thinking about that. And then I thought, you know what? Everything I wanted to talk to y'all about today, and the fact that I'm sitting here telling y'all that it's going to be a happy day, and what that means to me is I want to get some smiles out of you. Maybe a little chuckle or a giggle. Wouldn't that be nice? We hadn't really heard too much of the upcoming trial of Donna Adelson. So I'm going to put that on hold for now. And what I wanted to talk to y'all about today, y'all, it might seem like I'm just beating a dead horse or something, but I wanted to talk to y'all today about the reality of Lori Hooker Daybell and what she is absolutely going to have to deal with. I want to make sure that we close this out appropriately. All right. Good morning, Leanne Forsberg, the Bethy Boob, Chris Arnett, Vix Tex, Donna says she should have been a detective, Vivian Lundgren, Sam Willow, Hope Grace, Canyon Jam. Hello, hello, hello. Canyon Jam said it. This month feels like a new beginning. And it is a new beginning. Every moment of your life can be a new beginning. But we're on August 1st. This year has gone by so fast. And I promised Canyon Jam and others that we were going to discuss something. I have been doing my very best to write letters back. I've got so many letters that I've got to slowly take my time, and I want to be thoughtful about it. So I've been very busy with that, trying to at least get 1 to 2 hours a day to really sit down and reflect on what I'm reading. Thank you so much to all of you that have written and continue to write. OKJ is just swelling with love in my heart that you would even take the time to write me a letter. I really do appreciate it with all sincerity and love and all of the good things that y'all bring into my life. And I hope that I bring a little silliness and maybe a little thinking. And we're going to talk about something today that some of y'all probably were scratching your head about when I talked about the Lori doll. We were going to do it, but we got sidetracked with a detour. OKJ got on the bandwagon of the cheating CEO, and from there, God only knows how and why everything turned out the way it has, and why the transition into continuing this channel has just ended up being, I guess, all natural. But Canyon Jam sent me a gift in the mail. And I'm going to share that gift with you along with some other things. OKJ wrote a letter to Lori to send to her prison. And I'm going to share that with you. I'm also going to share a few other facts that maybe might not mean much to you, but in the long term, anything that you can learn That's a plus, right? Maybe things you didn't know before, things that I didn't know that I learned through research. But I want to start out now. Now, y'all ready for this? Y'all are going to trip out. Y'all are going to absolutely trip out. You ready? Y'all, Canyon Jam sent me the Lori doll. OMG. Look, y'all. Look at this. Look. You want to see the back? Look at her hair. She still has her gel highlights that she uses. You know, maybe some lemon juice. But look on the back of her outfit, y'all. Oh, this is the Lori doll. And when I opened it up in the mail, the first thing I thought, y'all, was, wow, Canyon Jam knows how to do it to it. Look at this outfit, y'all. Hey, check this out. This is going to make you laugh your ass off. Look at her. There's her breast implants. Oh my goodness. And you know, the hair, it really fits her to a T. You know, she's got, you know, the gray hair, you know, coming in, and yet she's trying to stay, you know, bouncy like the little cheerleader bouncy. No, Mixtex, it didn't come with pins. And that was another thing I wanted to make clear. This is not a voodoo doll. I mean, if you want to assign it a voodoo doll, you go ahead. Oh, KJ doesn't believe in any of that shit. I think this is absolutely adorable, y'all. Look. And the outfit has been sewn together with little Velcro. And look at her face, y'all. I'm telling you what, in a million years, I could never, ever do something like this. It's incredible. And, you know, I don't think Canyon Jam would mind too much if I shared just a tad of what she said in her letter, just so that I can prove a point. She said, you can burn it if you want or whatever. Well, most of y'all, the Rays, remember, we did the burning of the effigy several years back when Lori got convicted in Idaho, right? Well, first of all, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all. In fact, I look at this doll and I think about the time and the effort that it took Canyon Jam to make this doll and how well crafted it is. And, you know, I don't know myself what Canyon Jam was thinking or feeling as she sewed or applied the hair or did the face or the feet or anything like that. Canyon Jam, you forgot the nasty ass orange flip-flop things that they wear in prison. But I thought, you know, I couldn't look at this and say this is evil. This is not evil. This is coming from someone that I believe Canyon Jam is a loving, caring, wonderful person, okay, who took the time to make this and to send this to me. And so I thought, okay, all right, what do I do with this? Do I just keep it, or, you know, because I'm not going to destroy it. I'm not going to do that. Does anybody have any idea where OKJ's mind is on any of this? Oh, yeah, Bethy Boop says the rack belt accessory. There it is, y'all, the rack belt. Think about what Canyon Jam did to go through all this, to the detail. I mean, you tell me right now, anyone, any channel, and there are thousands in the crime genre community where you could actually see something like this. This is freaking incredible, y'all. It's not a voodoo doll to me, Rachel Black, but if you want to say it is, Does this doll here, because it represents Lori, it would be no different if I went in here on the computer and printed off the face of Lori Hooker Daybell. Is that piece of paper evil? No, not at all. We know that Lori is evil and diabolical. But I couldn't think of what I would want to do with this. The Bethy Boop says, the face, I can only see Lori Chef's kiss. Sam Willis says, stick hat pins in it or sewing pins will work. Now, explain to me though, Sam Willa, why would old KJ want to do that? Would it be that I had some evil intent? I know, y'all. We go on and on and on about the hooker. I've said everything that there is to say to make sure that all of you know I cannot stand this woman. But the bottom line is this is absolutely incredible. Canyon Jam, thank you so much for sending this to me. But I want to tell y'all what I thought when I finally thought, what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with it? You know? I thought, well, why not put it in a box and send it to Lori in prison? Huh? Let Lori have it. Let Lori have this doll so that it can sit up on her little, what Larry Woodcock said was a metal desk. Let it sit up there. You know? What do y'all think? Y'all think, oh, KJ, that was a good idea to send this to Pocatello Women's Prison for Lori? Huh? Well, getting some facts out of the way before we have a little fun on a Friday. Generally, Pocatello Women's Correctional Center allows inmates to receive first-class mail like letters, photographs, no Polaroids, and certain publications. Now, some of y'all already know this, but maybe some of you don't. Let's get this out of the way. However, packages are usually restricted to release clothing and authorized medical devices. Inmates can also receive books, magazines, and newspapers directly from the publishers. Money can be added to an inmate's account through authorized vendors, but not directly through the mail. So nobody can send Hooker there any money through the mail, not a check, a money order, or anything like that. But here's a more detailed breakdown, and this is coming from the Idaho Department of Corrections and specifically Pocatello Women's Prison. What can be mailed? Letters. Regular first-class mail is allowed. Photographs are permitted, but Polaroid photos are not. Publications, magazines, books, and newspapers can be mailed directly from the publisher or from approved vendors. And just remember that. Magazine, books, and newspapers. Someone can't mail Lori a newspaper article about her or anything like that. It's got to be an approved vendor. But this is what's not allowed. Packages, most are prohibited except those containing released clothing or medical devices. Things that are not permitted is cash, checks, or money orders, which we already went over. Contraband, which, you know, the only thing I can think is maybe some of Lori's cult members there might want to send in some ketamine, you know, the kind that Tim Ballard takes. But anyway, vendor approval for packages containing items like books, magazines, or clothing. It is crucial to verify if the sending vendor is approved by the Idaho Department of Corrections. So they have to, the vendor who sends this stuff has to be approved on top of it all. It can't just be a vendor out here who decides to do it or anything like that. Now, incoming mail. Now, I'm bringing this up because, y'all, ultimately, I can't send this doll to this woman. I'd love to do it. Not because I don't want to keep it or that I find anything wrong with it. In fact, I think Canyon Jam did a fabulous job, and I love it. I do. But I would like to send her this doll. Let's see. The residents in prisons may receive letters, no packages. Personal letters will be opened and searched for contraband. Unacceptable items will be returned to the sender or given the proper authorities. Incarcerated individuals with funds must purchase envelopes and postage from Commissary. No stamps or stationery can be accepted through the mail. So nobody can send Lori $10 worth of stamps to help her out. She can't have it. They can also send out packages. Now, Lori can send out packages of hobby crafts, excess property at their own expense. So Lori might get in there and decide she wants to be part of a sewing club, y'all. And she might want to sell some pot holders or something. So she has money on her commissary for snacks, which we'll get to here in a minute. They can also send out, if a resident individual does not have funds, if Lori doesn't have funds, y'all, stationery and postage are provided for one personal letter per week. So she can write a letter a week if she doesn't have any money on her commissary. But you and I both know Emma and Sammy and Janice will continue to help Lolo there. The Facility Resource Center staff or designee will handle all incoming or outgoing legal mail. Now, this is interesting. You cannot send published books directly to the hooker, okay? They must come with a receipt or invoice and be sent directly to the resident from the publication's publisher or an IDOC-approved vendor, which I've already said, but these are the approved vendors at Pocatello Women's Prison. Edward R. Hamilton, Thrift Books, Discover Books, More Than Words, Prison Book Program, Books A Million, Books and Things, Sure Shot Books, the Woman's Prison Book Project, and Idaho Prison Arts Collective. At this time now, y'all listen up. I know this sounds really kind of silly, but think about this, y'all. At this time, Amazon is not an approved vendor. And why is that important? Because that old damn asshole Chad Daybell has his books on Amazon, huh? Don't y'all find it interesting that Idaho doesn't have a, what is it? What's the publisher, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints publisher there? Somebody put it in the comments. You know what I'm talking about. What is it Desiree Books? Is that it? New and used books are allowed, but must be soft cover and no longer than 11 inches long. That sounds like what Lori, you know. I like mine 11 inches long, 8.5 inches wide, and 3 inches thick. And we're not talking about books either, huh? Lori likes it 11 inches long, 8.5 inches wide, and 3 inches thick, don't you know? Residents may seek approval from the facility's administration to obtain hardback educational, legal, and religious books if soft cover versions are not available. Magazines and newspapers must come directly from the publisher and have a printed delivery label featuring the IDOC's resident's name and address. Publications not meeting these criteria will be returned to sender. While this mail is treated as confidential, it is monitored for contraband and other items that might threaten the safety of the recipient. A unit staff member will open and inspect the envelope in the presence of the incarcerated individual, but will not read it. However, incoming confidential mail might be scanned to ensure that it does not violate policy. Now, for those that are interested, you want to write the hooker. You got something you want to say. I wrote a letter. I don't know that I'll send it, though. I think it's just for shits and giggles, a little satirical nonsense, don't you know? But this is a factual address. If you want to write her, you can rewind this at some point and write it down. This is how you address the mail at Pocatello Women's Prison. The first line is the resident's last name and IDOC number. And if you don't know the IDOC number, You can look it up online, but your best bet would be to get in touch with Crush K. Easton on Difficult Research, because the woman knows what she's doing, okay? The second line is the facility and the residence unit number. So you got to know that as well. Of course, the residence is Pocatello Women's Prison. The third line, and here we are, y'all. There's more than one here, but I'm going to give it to you, is P.O. Box 710. That's 70010. Boise, and then the fourth line, Boise, Idaho 83707. Now, again, that's one P.O. box, but there's others you can use. P.O. Box 14, SICI-CRC/MBTC, and then on the fourth line, Boise, Idaho 83707. And the final P.O. box, and any three of these will work, is P.O. Box 8509, IMSI, and SBWCC-P.O. Box, and then from there, Boise, Idaho on the fourth line, 83707. Again, these are three that I've already listed. Here's a fourth. I didn't see this one. The third line, P.O. Box 51, and the fourth line, Boise, Idaho, 83707. So, there you go. That's on that. Now, I'll tell you what. What would you say? What would you say to Lori? Huh? Would you write her a letter? Would you write her a letter? And if you did want to write her a letter, what would you say? Dashik Kavad, when you say hello, Nanny, my mother her name was Nanny to all the grandkids. And if I could one day be Nanny, I'll be so happy. I'll be so happy. Of course, I don't think I could live up to my grandmother's name, Nanny. Maybe Mama. I like Mama. It's, I'm Cherokee. You know, I got a little Cherokee in me. Mama, I like the word, like Mama there. If I ever have grandkids. And by the way, y'all, Andrew, he's dating somebody. I'm not going to go into it now. I'm going to see how it goes. But she's a sweet girl, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. And I'll give y'all an update in a hear and about way without sharing too much of the privacy that he needs to have. Kathy Benedero says, I think I'll send Lori a picture of Charles and a pic of each victim every week. Great comment there, Kathy. You know, they wouldn't turn that away. The Pocatello Women's Prison there would open up her mail, see those pictures. They would give them to her. As long as they're not Polaroids, right? But then again, would you want her to have a picture of Charles in her freaking cell? Like this woman gives a rat's butt about Charles or any of these victims. Again, y'all remember, they're not victims according to her. Oh, trust me, she's going to have to deal with it. Oh, Donna, your grandson Simon and his girlfriend are expecting. Congratulations. That's awesome. Sam Willows said, I would tell her that if you believe in Jesus, you know he's with the hungry, hurting, alone, and suffering. He's not with you. Hello, Trevor Levesque. So, that's that. But now I want to get to something that all you rays maybe wasn't thinking of, or maybe you have. I don't know. You got this in your drawer, don't you? I mean, I've got my mother's silver and all that tucked away, but this is basically stainless steel, isn't it? Well, Lori's never going to be able to use anything like that again. Something so little. Just think about this, y'all. This woman is going to be eating in prison with security utensils, huh? Could you imagine having to live that way? In prison, eating utensils are commonly called sporks, y'all. I know y'all know all about this. They are a combination of a spoon and a fork, and Lori's going to have to use one for the rest of her freaking days. She's never going to know the steak knife going into prime rib or a ribeye steak. She's going to get shit on the shingles. She's going to get mystery meat. But sometimes, depending on the facility and security level, they might also be referred to as plastic forks or plastic spoons or even safety utensils. Now, sporks, due to safety concerns, many prisons utilize sporks, a single utensil that combines a spoon and a fork. And I apologize, I don't have one here. OKJ wouldn't have a spork here at my home, and you probably wouldn't either, because it's not prison. We're free. We get to enjoy our life. We get to use, regular eating utensils. Okay? This reduces the risk of inmates using them as weapons. Doesn't that give you the little warm fuzzies a little bit? Wouldn't it be nice if they went ahead and allowed them regular stuff? Maybe they could use them, and Lori could learn all about it when she gets shanked. In some facilities, even sporks are made of soft plastic to prevent them from being sharpened into weapons or melted down to create heaters. And I'm not sure what heaters are. If any of you know what a heater is in prison, put it in the comments. I'd love to know about it. Sam Willis says, well, she isn't getting any steaks, so she doesn't need a knife. The Bethy Boop says she could work kitchen and make her infamous green chicken enchiladas. Yeah, the one that gives you the shits. Yeah. So some facilities use specifically designed safety utensils, like the Eco Security utensil, which are made from paper board and designed to be less dangerous if misused. So Lori gets to enjoy that, y'all. She gets to enjoy that. For the rest of her days, she can get a spork or a spoon to eat whatever it is that she's going to eat. She won't need a knife on what they're serving on the menu, don't you know? Whatever it is, it's going to be soft. Probably a little fecal matter in it. Who knows, right? So from there, I wanted to talk to y'all about, how Lori is going to be able to be funded while she's in Pocatello Women's Prison. And of course, we all know that Chad Daybell had set it up that Emma would give Lori some money every month. Whether that's still going on, I don't know. Lori told Nate Eaton in one interview, the last interview she did the only interview she did with Nate, that her and Chad are not talking right now. But I guess really the question is she getting money from Emma? Is she getting it from Sammy or Janice? I'm sure she is. But this comes directly off the Pocatello Women's Prison site. It says beginning July 1st of 2016. This is from the 2016, y'all. They haven't updated, so it's still policy. Access Corrections will provide depository services for all IDOC residents and payment services for all community-based supervised individuals. Now, what kind of deposit or payment type will Access Corrections accept? They'll accept cash, money orders, cashier's checks, and personal checks, as well as debit and credit cards, Visa and MasterCard. There is a daily limit of $300 per day, per credit, per debit card. But here's the interesting thing about it, y'all. Whoever gives whatever a means of money, say Emma gives her a money order there through this service, is the only service that you can go through. Guess what, y'all? For every penny to $19.99, it's going to cost Lori, say Emma sends her $20, it's, $19, okay, or less. $2.95 per $19.99 and under. That's online. If they do it by phone, if Emma calls by phone with a debit number to this Access Corrections place, it'll be $3.95. If Emma goes to Pocatello Women's Prison and says, here's my money order, or here's my check, here's my cash, or whatever, if they walk in, it's $5.95. And if they do it on a kiosk, it's $2.95. So online or kiosk, $2.95. As you go through the amounts, whether it's $20 to $99.99 and so forth and so forth, obviously the charge increases, okay? So if Emma sends Lori $19.99, she's not getting $19.99. And Donna, who insists she should have been a detective, has made us all aware already that, she's going to have to pay a percentage of, what the judge ordered, Judge Boreski ordered on this stuff. I haven't heard anything latest on any kind of hearing on any of that or anything like that, but the bottom line is that the Department of Corrections and on this service that is going to help people in prison get their money is going to make some money. So there you go on that. What's also interesting is there's this fund called a JPay media account, which is separate from just Lori receiving money. And I'm not sure, I'll have to research that a little better, but it says, can I fund my loved one's JPay media account? And I'm assuming that has to do with like an iPad or something, approved stuff that they can get on their iPads, if that's what they get, or some kind of media service there. It says, no, you cannot you cannot fund Lori's JP media account through Access Corrections. That is a totally separate thing. To deposit money on JPay media account, you will need to contact JPay. So that's a whole different service. And guess what? Just as Access Corrections and JPay, they're two separate things, there's also service fees involved in that as well. So Lori can shit in one hand and hope in another when it comes to getting the full amount, whether it's to pay back the victims or whether it's any of this to have money for her freaking stupid ass STDs or whatever she's got, her douchebags, which she has to order extra large, whatever she's got to have. She better just deal with it. Now, let's get to something else. How about it, yo? What would you want Lori's nickname to be in prison? Come on now, I'm going to wait. I'm going to fire up this cigarette. I'm going to take me a drink here of my coffee. What would your nickname be for the hooker in prison? Come on now, I want to hear it. I'll give you mine. I'll go ahead and give you mine. Hoary, says KKB. That's close to one of mine there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I thought of 11 nicknames for Lori, y'all. I did. Come on, I want to hear your nickname. What would you think Lori would be called in prison? VixTex makes it simple as killer. She's a killer. Well, okay, here's some that I've come up with. How about Loho? Alright? Hey, Loho! Come on over here and give me some of them green beans off your tray. I like to put them green beans somewhere special so you can take a nibble, Loho. How about it? Psycho from hell, says Trevor. KKB says, I love when Larry called her murderess. Alright, so Loho is one that I thought of. How about Lolly Lick? Hey, Lolly Lick. Come on over here and join the Lick Club, Lolly Lick. Lolly Lick. How about what one of y'all already said? Hoary Lori. Hey, Lori Hoary, get over here. I want you to make my bed up. I want you to make sure to sweep the floor of my cell, and if you don't, I'm going to beat your ass. Here's another one, y'all. Daybell Tuna. Hey, Daybell Tuna, get over here. I can smell you from the other end of the pod there. Come on, Daybell Tuna. Of course, VixTex said killer. I say child killer. All these women in there in the pod there, they're missing their children, some of them, I'm sure. She's a child killer. There's child killer. Hey, child killer. How you doing, child killer? How about Vix Tech says Gherkin Girl? That's a good one. I wouldn't have thought about that, y'all. I know KJ's been talking about Chad Daybell's Gherkin for 6 years. Vix Tech's, you got it going on. How about Pickle Sucker? Says, hey, Pickle Sucker. Come on over here. I got some twangy stuff for you, Pickle Sucker. We go with a little deal, maybe a little sweet pickle. Come on over here. How about, here's a good one, y'all. Doomsday Daybell. There's Doomsday Daybell over there, trying to convince these women that she's all righteous and everything. Here's one that kind of speaks for itself. I couldn't help it. It came into my mind. Shot to the curve. Hey, she shot to the curve. That girl shot to the curve, big time. She's so used to standing on the corner and letting them nickels be flipped in there. She shot to the curve. Oh, yeah, I'm sure these people... Will somebody please take that off there? That's not from YouTube. Anyway, how about this one? Pastor Daybell, y'all. Lori gets in there and she starts convincing these women that she is a pastor. She's going to share the truth with them. They're going to call her Pastor Daybell. Y'all, it's very possible. Also, how about Warrior Witch? That's a good one, huh? There's the Warrior Witch. There's the Warrior Witch. And the ever-loving Satan's Taco, y'all. Satan's Taco. There goes Satan's Taco. She's going to go get in the shower. We better go over there and check her out. Make sure she's washing in all those cracks and crevices. And finally, y'all, how about fresh meat? How about that? And this whole thing about violation and live stream now to avoid a suspension, a virus has been detected in your live stream. There's no virus. This person's putting it in there. They're just trying to cause trouble. Please delete those. Molly's mom says, oh, stinky meat. Thank you, mods. These people, they ain't got nothing better to do. How about 2x4, says Leanne Forsberg. Murderous minister, says Vix Tech. Good one. Spoiled meat. Maybe, says Sam Willow. All right, now, let's finally get to KJ's letter to Lori, okay? Y'all know I've got to do it. Dear Lori Cox Daybell, I am writing you this letter to get a better understanding of what you've been through. And that's going to catch her because she's narcissistic. You got to start out the letter so she don't just like, all they're doing is making fun of me or doing whatever. It's got to be focused on what you've been through. That's what I'm going to do. First, I would like to ask you some questions. Number one, when Tammy Daybell's aunt said, Lori, rot in hell, to you as you were leaving the courtroom for the last time in Arizona, why did you wink at her? Could it be that you were letting her know with a little winky wink that your worship, your worship of Satan has gifted you with a new home in hell? Number two, how was your overall experience in Arizona? Did you enjoy the limelight? Did you feel empowered to represent yourself? And did you get juicy every time you showed disrespectful decorum in court? Did your demon enjoy lashing out at the judge? Number three, how does it feel to live in self-induced denial of your crimes? Are you the only one who is right and everyone else is wrong? Number four, now that you are in Pocatello Women's Prison for the rest of your miserable life, How do you intend on continuing your marriage with Chad? You think old Chatty boy will enjoy Brian Koberger in his prison? Will you write or call Chad? Number 5. Does Emma still believe her daddy and stepmommy's bullshit? I guess whatever keeps the money coming, huh? Number 6. How are those veneers sitting these days in your mouth? Or those concrete block breast implants? Do they have prison Wheel of Fortune there? Or even a Miss Prison pageant? Number 7, and I ended it on 7. I think it's important to end it on 7. And finally, what will you do now that the rules in your life sentence bar you from interviews? How will you get attention? Maybe being an evil, diabolical serial killer will get you unwanted attention. But I guess if it's female's affection, then it's better than no attention at all. Sincerely, KJ. What do y'all think? Yep, Jet Set Dre, rode hard and put up wet. Worn out Willie Sucker, yeah. Oh, love you too, Molly. What do y'all think? You know what, y'all? There's so much that people kind of just put behind them, and that's fine. People can do whatever the hell they want. When these people get convicted and sent off to prison for the rest of their life, I mean, you could apply this to Brian Koberger. If Donna Adelson gets convicted, she's elderly, so, you're looking at a life sentence there. A lot of times people don't think about the cold, hard reality of the spork or the, for instance, Commissary. Folks, OKJ loves junk food. I like honey buns. My particular favorite, I like fudge rounds. And I like cheese puffs. But here's what I want to kind of bring out about these three is that, this is going to be squeezed out of Lori's behind on her stainless steel pot there. This right here is going to help rot what teeth is in her mouth. And y'all, make no mistake, we all eat the junk food. But this woman is stuck in a prison. If she can get the honey bun, she'll get it. And not only will she eat it, she'll eat it. You know what I mean? She'll eat it to eat it. You know what I'm saying? Let me say that again. She will eat it to eat this honey bun. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be... And, most of the time, when we get the honey buns out of the supermarket or whatever, they're nice and fresh. Who knows, y'all? She probably gets the stale ones on the edges, or you know how you go into like a convenience store. This is what I do anyway. And they have the fudge round sitting on the shelf there. I always touch it, make sure it's not hard, so that I know that it's still. I look at the expiration date and everything. Which, by the way, some of these inmates, they are going to, hoard whatever they can get, whether it's the fudge round or the honey bun or the cheese puffs or whatever. And God only knows how long they've had that shit under their cot there, waiting to trade it out for something else. So, Lori's going to she's going to know all about that. She's going to know all about the bartering system. And, she gets a hold of the cheese puffs, y'all. That shit's going to get caught up in them veneers and everything. And the next thing you know, it's going to form up in there in the gum behind them veneers and everything. And she's going to need a tooth pulled because they're not going to give her a veneer cleaning. They're not going to give her anything that's going to help her. So, this whole idea that the hooker there, oh, I'm only going to eat fresh fruit and yogurt and, anything that's healthy for me. Give me a break, y'all. This woman is going to look for any kind of pleasure she can get. And you and I both know whether it's a fudge round or a Twinkie or a ding dong or whatever it is, we all love to eat them and they are pleasurable to eat. I eat the shit out of them, y'all. I love them. I love these. I love honey buns. And I sure as hell love cheese puffs. But I'll tell you this right now. I'm free. I can go in here into my big bathroom, one of my big bathrooms, after eating the stuff and rinse my mouth out. Or I can just open up my refrigerator, eat the hell out of whatever I want to. And this woman is stuck with stale-ass cheese puffs, freaking damn rotten-ass damn honey buns that's been sitting under some damn woman's cot. She probably been licking on it and resealed it up to make it look like it was new. And a freaking fudge round that's going to come right out Lori's ass. That's what's going to happen to her. Everything she eats. And you think she ain't going to get weight on her? Hey, folks, I'll sit here, I'll tell you right now, I got a Tina the talking tummy. I'm overweight. And I'm happy of who I am and all that. And I probably should take better care of myself and all that. But this woman, she ain't going to get out there and join no freaking aerobics class. She ain't going to be out there doing any of that. She's going to be stuck in that damn jail cell. And Chad Daybell, that freaking damn asshole, he is locked down 23 hours a day. And Brian Kohlberger's probably across the way there, probably licking his lips, hoping to get a hold of that gherkin just so he can get his ass a freaking honey bun. He probably gets the nickname Honey Bun. Well, Keenan Jam, I know in the letter you said that I could burn it if I wanted. I wouldn't burn this dog. I wouldn't burn this dog. You know why? Because it took a lot of time and effort, a lot of love from you to send it. I know what your words have said in your letter, and I could very easily look at this doll and say, this is the epitome of evil. No, it's not. What's the epitome of evil is Lori's freaking stupid ass damn religious beliefs and her freaking mental illness that's making her weak because she can't tell the truth because she don't want to tell the truth. That's evil. This doll is special to me. You wonder what Lori would think if this doll was able to be delivered to her in Pocatello Women's Prison. You know what she'd do? I'll tell you what Lori would do. She'd be like, oh, somebody thought about me long enough. They just had me rent-free in their minds so much they created a doll about me. And I'm going to take the shackles and the rack belt off, and I'm going to take off the leg irons here, and then I'm going to brush its hair. And, maybe from time to time, if I get a friend like Veronica or somebody, we can play with the doll together, through it out and all that. And of course, the only mistake is that my breasts are lopsided. I have perfect breasts, even though they feel like concrete blocks. And maybe the hair could have been a little bit better. But, when I become a hairstylist in the prison and everything, I'll get a hold of stuff that will make me look like that cheerleader again. That pageant lady up on stage, and my turquoise bikini as I'm sitting in Hawaii with my damn asshole husband. Y'all, think about how she is going to have to... She is married to a freaking death row inmate. Think about that. She's, I know some of you are like, oh, KJ, she doesn't think her and Chad did anything wrong. She lives in denial. She chooses to live in denial. But deep down, she knows. She knows. And everything that she had before these crimes were committed, I promise you, every time she picks up the fork to eat her nasty-ass food or eat her freaking stale-ass honey bun, I guarantee you, She's not going to know the soft aroma of a Hawaiian breeze anymore. She's going to smell how all these women have their periods every month around the same time. Y'all, it's a proven fact. This is fact. When women are housed together, you can look it up. She's going to get to smell that, or the feces on the walls, or all of that stuff. And that's her own doing. We didn't put that, none of us. Society didn't put this on this woman. She knew if she broke the law, she would get penalized with something, you know. If she thought, just as Judge Boreski, it would take an act of God to get her out of prison, make no mistake, y'all. In order to delude herself, when he said that to her in open court, she said in her mind, she said, yes, God is going to free me. These people, they're so mere mortal. They don't realize it. She'll go on every day with that false hope of everything that she embraced in her sexual role playing with Chad Daybell. Just as Larry said, did she enjoy it? Did she enjoy it? And she did, y'all. She absolutely enjoyed everything that happened until she got busted. It was thrilling. It was an adrenaline rush. She enjoyed it. But, you know, I don't know how she's going to top that now. Being the evil woman she is, she had to do those things in order to feel that stimulated and everything. Think about what she's going to have to do in Pocatello Women's Prison to get that stimulation. It's disgusting, really. And it ain't because old KJ's mind's filthy or perverted or anything like that, y'all. We're talking about common sense. We're talking about common sense, y'all. If someone heard my maniacal laughter as I created this, they would probably come for me with the white coat. It literally flows out of me like a song. It's transformational. Think about it, y'all. Canyon Jam, you know, everybody has a way of processing things and coming to terms with, you know, we were all hurt. We're still hurt. You know, just because a case is over and Lori's going off to Pocatello and Chad's on death row, does that mean we stop hurting or feel the loss for these family members? You know, we all know that we have feelings inside of us. And however you can get those feelings out of you in order to create something positive, not only for yourself but for others, that right there is what Lori and Chad and the rest of these crazy ass people, they don't want people to find something good out of something so bad. They want people to be just as evil as they are. And make no mistake, KJ, you know, for 6 years, I have went to town on this hooker. I went to town on Chad Daybell. I mocked them because I want to see people get a smile. Not because it's something to smile about the crimes. It's because that right there will exit out not exit all out, but it will X out a lot of the evil that went on. For evil to know that people can find good because God allows that. Or if people don't want to believe in God, that something good can come out of bad. I mean, there's not a person on this channel that can tell me that, oh, well, I know something bad happened and nothing good ever came of it. Something good has to. If you can't find something good that came out of something bad, then maybe you weren't looking. Or maybe you weren't ready to look. Or maybe you never will get there. Who knows? That's your life, your business. Fancy Nancy says, yes, and it's free, doesn't cost us a thing. And Vix Tech says humor is therapeutic. It is. Was it you, Vix Tech, that talked about, I think it was you, maybe it wasn't, talked about laughing yoga? Who was it? Was it you, Vix Tech? Talked about yoga where you laugh through it, or was that, I'm not sure who that was, but hi, Jody from the boot. Hi, Shannon Commit. Hi, Mary Sadler. Trevor, I haven't seen any updates. Does anybody know whether Lori has been transferred back yet? Hi, James Dillon. Oh, it was Sam Willow. I'm sorry, Sam. It's hard to keep up with everyone, but I'll tell you, when you shared that, the laughing yoga just stuck out to me big time. Fancy Nancy says, Trevor, not yet. She hasn't been extradited back to Idaho to serve out her sentence. X-File says, Lori blasphemed against our Lord Jesus Christ. It's unforgivable. God Almighty is mercy and love. Mary Sadler says that she doesn't think Lori's been sent back to Idaho yet. Sam Willis says, I do laughing yoga. It's wonderful. I bet it is, Sam. So I guess, when Canyon Jam talked about earlier about this being a new beginning, it's August 1st and stuff. When I saw that before coming on the live stream, I thought, oh no, I wanted to talk about this to kind of wrap it up. But it is a new beginning. Not that we turn the page and just forget what we've all been through on it. Continue to seek justice. You can't just say, oh, I've learned everything there is to know about what happened or how I feel about it. There will be times down the road, y'all, that we will rediscuss things about Chad and Lori or these cult members. Or, hopefully the victims' family members will give us more to talk about their healing journey. I'm sure Gresha will have so much more, way more, to share with the world. But we are going into the month of August, and Donna Adelson, we're going to be discussing here real soon. We were going to talk about compare and contrast between Brian Kohlberger and Donna Adelson, along with, I wanted to get to the bump, which some of y'all don't know what that means. That was when law enforcement got Donna and Charlie talking and all of that. Also, the Dolce Vita wiretap between Charlie and Catherine McManawal. We're going to discuss that here real soon. But I want to close to say this, y'all. Canyon Jam created something from her heart, something beautiful. It wasn't the symbolic nature of what this doll of Lori. It wasn't that Lori was beautiful or what Lori did was beautiful. It's being able to express yourself, however, whether it's through writing, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through making a doll, whether it's planting a garden or just calling a friend. Ways that you can let out the tragedy that it really was, not the tragedy Lori wanted to say it was. Letting out those feelings in different ways, your way. You being the only you're ever going to be. We're going to get back together, y'all, at the beginning of the week. We're going to continue to move forward to get justice through understanding. I appreciate the race continuing to go along because it's been really hard to transition from these former cases into Donna Adelson. There's a part of me that doesn't feel the passion and the drive like I did with these other cases. But what does drive me is to educate myself, share what I've learn from you, get educated from you, continue seeking justice through understanding. And however that turns out, I'm never going to come on here that I don't want to be here, knowing that what I've got to say, I feel, for me, is important or at least worth a shot, right? So, I love you all. Thank you so much, Fancy Nancy, Vix Tex, other people on here that Canyon Jam, others that helped mod. Y'all are truly my friends, and I love you so deeply. Thank y'all so much for being here. I hope you have a great weekend, And we'll get back together soon, y'all. You know what old KJ always says. Keep on looking.